Alright guys, this is a long plane review for Midnight Resistance on the Amstrad CPC. And this is of course a arcade conversion of a fairly popular arcade machine at the time, from Data East. And it was actually a sequel to an earlier game called Heavy Barrel. I hadn't really heard of before, but just doing a little bit of research, discovered that. And both games, like Ikari Warriors, use a special rotary joystick, which basically means you can sort of twist the joystick clockwise and anti-clockwise, as well as moving in 8 directions. And rotating the joystick allowed you to sort of aim your weapon, sort of fire all around you. Now, how this translates onto a humble 8-bit machine, which only had just basically a joystick to move in 8 directions, no ability to do rotary stuff, well, we'll find out shortly. As you saw there, a really nice loading screen and a pretty decent title screen. Some very cool music, which I think is taken from level 2 of the arcade machine. And if you want to hear the music in full, just watch the end of the video. I've left it running without me yammering over the top of it. Now, this is programmed by Bagley of Special Effects Software, and they're a little programming team responsible for a few games like Batman the Cape Crusader, Cabal, another arcade conversion, Hudson Hawk. That was probably the last game Special Effects did for the Amstrad. That was pretty decent. It was released by Ocean, so they obviously farmed this out to Special Effects. It's not an in-house programming job from them. But Mr. Bagley, he's done an alright job on this. We're all going to set our keys. Use 2 fire buttons for shooting and your backpack, which is basically a special weapon. Alright, let's get this started. Now, as you can see, nicely detailed graphics, although it's only in 4 colours, so we're in mode 1. But sadly, no music, guys, and this is the it's certainly running on a 128k machine, so either the program's ran out of memory, which I doubt, or they just simply ran out of time or couldn't be bothered to put it in. Oh well. Because the Spectrum version, which this looks and plays very similar to, does have music, but yeah, this is a Speccy port, guys. Now here I'm just going to test my weapon. It's quite awkward sort of direction your shots. As you see, if I do holding 5 button down, if I move left, it rotates left. If I'm facing left and do fire and right, then it rotates clockwise above me. So just spend a little time getting used to how you direct your weapon, guys. Otherwise you'll soon get in trouble. Decent sound effects though, and I like the backdrops there, that's quite nicely detailed. I don't always mind mode 1 graphics. Obviously there's a lot more details but less colours, but graphics wise they've done a pretty decent job here. It's just a shame that we've got flick screen scrolling. Grr. But the game does feature some nice big chunky sprites, like this first end of level boss. He's pretty easy to defeat, like quite a few of the bosses, unfortunately. But you're able to fire lots of shots off of your weapon. It just feels very slightly laggy. It certainly sort of moves and plays just a touch slower than a Spectrum version, but that's to be expected from a Speccy port. Now, at the end of each level, you get to a weapons room. You can select your weapons. Guys, I always go for the freeway weapon and the shower backpack, which is your special weapon. You'll see it very shortly in action. And you collect keys from the enemies you shoot down. Make sure you end the level with 6 keys. Now, I've just accidentally activated my backpack weapon there, the shower. because annoyingly the programmers have mapped the backpack weapon to firing up, so you're often activating it when you didn't really want to. Saying that though, you're using it quite frequently throughout the game, so it's not too much of an issue, and you get plenty of ammunition for your backpack weapon. I like how your bullets sort of flash through different colours there, sort of orange and blue. There you go, I'm just collecting keys. Now, probably the most annoying thing about this conversion and ports is, I think, like the Spectrum version, I'm not sure on the Commodore one, is that when you get shot and you lose a life, basically you drop all your weapons and all your keys, and sometimes when you drop them, they'll sort of fall off the bottom of the screen, or if you're right at the edge of the screen, they'll sort of fly off the edge of the screen where you can't reach. And if you lose your weapons, then the game gets incredibly tough. So it's a bit like games like R-Type in those regards. You know, once you lose all your weapons and power-ups, the game gets infinitely hard. I do remember getting this game as a kid and being pretty frustrated because I always ended up dying and losing my weapons at the edge of the screen and just giving up after that. I just never gave this game much time of day. But once with a bit of practice and you get used to sort of targeting your weapons and how to sort of defeat the enemies and where they appear, because they do appear in sort of set patterns and the same places, it's quite enjoyable. That was a bit close. Collision detection is pretty much spot on. But as you saw there, even though that sort of missile, it sort of went through my legs. It has to be a direct hit to the body to kill you, which I think is pretty fair. But that's the second level boss there dealt with. The levels are pretty short, but guys, this is actually pretty faithful to the arcade original. The levels are as they are. All the end of level bosses are there. I think all the weapons are there as well. So special effects and Jim Bagley, they've done a pretty decent job here. It's just a bit of a shame we got lumbered with a bit of a Speccy port that's a bit slow and cumbersome, and flick screen scrolling. Right, so we picked up an extra life there and some bullets. And on to level 3. You get these sort of weird spacemen chasing after you in this level. But yeah, as you move off the screen, always fire your weapon, because like usual problems with flick screen scrolling, there might be an enemy waiting right on the other side of the scroll. But don't worry too much about conserving ammo, you get plenty of ammo pickups in the weapon rooms. So yeah, I'm find my weapon just before moving off the edge of the screen there. So a handy tip there. Oh yeah, the plot of the game. Basically, you're off to rescue 6 members of your family that's been kidnapped by some, I don't know, evil alien creature. So yeah, you're off to rescue your mum, your father, your sister, your brother. And your father, he's a scientist, and he's been captured by the evil alien. I think according to Wikipedia, he's known as the Commissar. He's a big, ugly skull head, which you fight at the very end of this game. and he wants your scientist father to build him an ultimate super weapon to do whatever evil tyrants do, of course. Yeah, this is a bit slow and clunky, unfortunately, but it is pretty faithful to the arcade original. So if you were a fan of the arcade game, you would have been happy to have seen like the levels as they are and the end of level baddies that are all present, rather than the programmers like sort of making a whole new game out of it and ignoring sort of key bits of the arcade original. They've done their best. So yeah, just stick to the far right of the screen here and get ready to sort of fire down and left and up and left. Not too hard this level. If you want to beat the game, just sort of follow my example, really. Now get rid of the first one on the left there, because that's moving towards you, of course. I'm going to watch out for any bullets flying at you until you defeat this last one, and that thing at the top centre there will start shooting bullets at you. But that can only shoot in 3 directions, so just position yourself nicely with your freeway weapon. That's easily dealt with. There you go. That's level 3 done. Now as for the other versions, I've watched the Commodore 64 version on YouTube, and that looks really impressive. It's probably the best out of the Amstrad Speccy and Commodore. The C64 version wins, I think, in an 8-bit wars or battle. Spectrum version comes a very close second. Again, it's a really impressive looking conversion, but it's very similar to the Amstrad one, but just plays that touch smoother and faster, because you know the Amstrad's suffering basically a port of the Spectrum version. It's going to be a touch slower, rather than it being designed specifically for the Amstrad's capabilities. But still, this is pretty decent. I think Amstrad Action Magazine, the main magazine for the Amstrad CPC, I think it gave it about 86%. And you know what, I might as well just say now what I'm going to give the game score-wise. I think I kind of agree with them, really. I think it's an 8.5 out of 10 game. The Amstrad had, you know, had only a few decent sort of run and gun games like this. The other really good ones being Marine Corps. It's well worth checking out if you haven't heard of that one. Grisor, of course. And I suppose Turrican counts as a bit of a run and gun. It's one of my favourite genres, anyway, of arcade gaming, run and gun. So it's nice to have a very well presented game like this one. It's pretty decent fun. It's not the best game in the world, but we're doing a decentish job here. I suppose the main negative compared to the Speccy version is there's no music in game. Spectrum version had lots of like really nice tunes, and you know what, I'm sure the Amstrad could have managed it. Oh, just noticed there was animation there of the waterfalls. That's pretty nice. And I'm sure the Amstrad version could have managed some music. May have slowed it down and further. That's probably why they might have left it off. There you go. This is an impressive end of level battle. Just like in the arcade, you see the planes sort of flying in the background, and then they appear to attack you. Trick to this, guys, just keep moving sort of left and right. Oh, each plane will fire one rocket at you. So if you're moving, you're generally going to avoid their rockets. and keep using the shower weapon from your backpack. Wow, there's a lot of bullets on the screen at the moment, and explosions and stuff. It gets quite confusing at times, but generally your enemies are not firing too many bullets at you. And there you go. That's the end of level 4. Just deciding what I'm going to pick up. Get more ammunition for my backpack shower. You can only hold up to 50. No, we might as well pick up an extra life. Although on this long play, guys, I've done this without losing a life, which took me a lot of goes, but eventually did it. Been playing this game quite a lot recently, so I've had plenty of practice. Right, I'm trying to beat this helicopter, which is like the animation there on the rotor blades. It is just basically duck in the far right corner and just sit there firing away. Easy done. Oh yeah, one annoyance is that whilst you ducked, you can only move left and right, so you have to sort of jump up to be able to stand up and run again. Which can be a bit of a problem if you need to suddenly move from your duck position, but there's bullets going over your head as well. You end up sort of jumping into bullets to your death. A little bit annoying. But yeah, with the whole rotary joystick I mentioned that the arcade machine had, they've not done a bad job here with sort of, you know, emulating it. Holding down the fire button and moving in certain directions to rotate. It works just about. I think they've done the best they could have done. This level's a bit dull, really. It's pretty easy to get through this level. There's two end of level. There's two big bosses in this level. You obviously saw the helicopter, which you can just duck in the right hand corner and fire away at, and he won't ever hit you. And we've got another boss waiting for us down here, which you can basically do the same thing. Just basically keep ducked in the far right, and he'll never hit you. I have no idea what that boss is. It looks just the same as in the arcade original. Perhaps this is some kind of scientific experiment to create a superhuman or something. Who knows? Obviously it's a Japanese game, so it's going to be slightly unusual in places. He'll soon be dead. Anything else to mention? Oh yeah, just a small thing to mention. If you own an Amstrad Plus machine, a 464 Plus or 6128 Plus, please note if you buy the game, it won't work on a Plus machine, basically because of the keyboard lockup problem. I'm not going to explain in detail what that is, But if you want to play it emulated wise, then there is a sort of plus patch version on the CPC Power website. It will work. Obviously, this game works fine on a normal CPC 464, 664, or 6128. But it's a bit sloppy of the programmers not to check it ran on a plus machine, because I think they were out at the time this game was released. Yeah, on this level, get some more bullets and choose the barrier. You will see why shortly. Yeah, that sort of barrier weapon, that sort of gives that sort of protection around you, is pretty useful here, because you get like baddies moving left and right, running at you quite quickly. Oh, I was pretty close there. Nearly got killed. So the collision detection is pretty decent, and also pretty reasonable for you. But yeah, once you've learnt the layout of this game, where enemies appear and their sort of set patterns, it's really not too hard. It's just that if you do, make a mistake, lose a life, and drop your weapons and they fall off the screen, you can't get them, that's when things get really tough. And I don't like that, really. Ooh, little sort of intermission here. Haha, we have your family. Oh my god. Help. Yeah, that's a nice touch. I'm glad that the programmers went to that just a little bit extra effort to include stuff like that. That was in the arcade original. And it's nice to see they obviously must have sat down and played the arcade machine quite thoroughly, because I got it pretty much spot on. And I'm just figuring out which one I'm going to choose. So you're going to go for the supercharger there. That just gives your bullets some extra power. Yeah, we might as well top it up bullets there. Now which level is this? Oh, this is level 7. Level 7 of 9, so we're getting pretty close to the end. Got a giant submarine here, which is straight into a big boss battle. Now I've taken a bit of a risk here and just stayed there at the far left of the screen, sort of firing diagonally. There's an off chance you might get hit from a bullet, but we've been pretty lucky there. Basically, you just got to destroy all the gun emplacements on the submarine or ship, and it's job done. Now be warned, those sort of guns in the middle there, their bullets are exactly the same colour and size as yours, so it can get quite confusing. There you go, there's one sort of floating down to the bottom left corner. So be warned of that. Ooh, very nearly got hit by that rocket. But yeah, the screen can fill up so quickly with bullets. It goes pretty crazy, almost bullet hell. Right, I've just got one more rocket launcher there to destroy. There we go. Nice big explosion, and the ship sinks into the ocean. Nice. Just a few more bad guys running at you to kill, and that's the end of the level. Now level 8, coming up next, is a pretty short level. But you want to make sure you don't die on that level, because you need all 6 keys, which will basically rescue one key will rescue one family member on the next sort of weapon screen at the end of the next level. So do be careful. I've gone for an extra life there. I don't really need it. But what the hell, there's nothing else to really pick up. I wouldn't use any other weapon, like I said, apart from the freeway. We're very low on the shower weapon though. Now for the first 2 waves of guys coming down at you, one comes up, so be ready to sort of quickly angle downwards and shoot. One wave coming down at you, and then be another wave coming up, so there you go. And shoot as many of them as you can, because you need to get 6 keys, and they'll float upwards when you get to the top. There we go. We need the 6 keys to rescue our family members next, sorry. And we're already at a boss battle. He's not too hard, getting lots of hits straight away. Now you'll start moving around the screen like a snake, and he will fire at you just now, so be prepared to move. There's his bullet, just missed it. Then jump over him to the right. You can stay on that ladder if you want, but don't get stuck there. So you will eventually move into where you are. There you go, that's him done. Let's blast the school door open and rescue our family members. If I can get on the ladder. There you go. And each family member, there they are, once you sort of free them, will drop a weapon for you to pick up. And it's completely random each time which weapon it will be. So I like to see which weapons they drop first of all before I pick them up, because you do really want to keep your freeway weapon, which thankfully that weapon pickup was. That's a bonus life, and hopefully we'll get a shower weapon for our backpack as well. Fingers crossed. I've got there. Extra bullets, nice. And trust me guys, you will need a freeway weapon for the last level. Oh cool, got a backpack pickup there. Oh, that's a nitro, which is basically just a sort of little explosion above you and sends out about 5 or 6 bullets. Cool, so we've actually been pretty lucky there, because we've ended up getting the freeway weapon, full ammunition, and a backpack as well. Some other times you just get the crap weapons and no freeway weapon, and you're sort of stuck with that. And you need the freeway weapon for these guys in front of you here, because they're swine to get rid of with just one directional shooting. Start fire off a few bullets before you move on to the next screen. Because they can, these sort of floating heads can fire off quite a few bullets at once and leave you with no option to avoid them. But with that freeway weapon you can pretty quickly dispatch these heads. There you go. Now we can only move left and right in this small little tunnel. We've got a few more heads, so we need to be very quick destroying them. And thankfully we've been quite lucky there. Start firing before you move off the screen. And there you go, job done. Right, on to the final boss battle against the Commissar. Oh, is that the Earth there in the background? Are we on an alien planet? No, I'm not sure. Anyway, there he is. Very quickly run right as soon as you get on that screen, because he will eat you. And he's pretty easy to defeat, especially if you've got that freeway weapon. Just stay in that right hand bottom corner and just fire away madly. And that's all you need to do. You basically need to shoot him in the eyes, and there, all that's left is his brain floating about, dropping maggots at you. And again, just basically stand there shooting away. And there you go. That's it, that's them all defeated. 9 levels of bullet hell mayhem, and here's the ending. Ah, nice, there you go. Reunited with all my family. And of course I've rescued all 6 family members there. And now they all appear. Hey, congratulations, you escaped and saved 6 of your relatives. Hurrah! Enter my name there in the high score table, and obviously if you didn't have enough keys to rescue each of your family members, it tells you you've only rescued 3 or 4, whatever, and to go back and do the game again. Well, there you go. Right, thanks for watching, guys. I give that 8.5 out of 10. That's a decent game, that. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Certainly worth a quick blast, so thanks again, guys, and see you soon. Cheers, bye.